One thing is for sure, Grapple reminded me in a weird way of the original Super Mario Bros. Hear me out. Have you ever played a game as a kid, a platformer, where you always lean when the character on screen jumps or you won't make it? Yep, I did that when I was playing Super Mario Bros. Here's the thing, I was doing something similar in Grapple. I was leaning, stretching, moving legs and arms, holding breath, just so for the slime ball to make it. The game is addicting. Before continuing with the video, please consider subscribing, liking the video and leaving a comment. This will help with the uphill battle with the algorithm gods. There isn't a story, it's pure gameplay. This is a 3D puzzle platformer where the puzzle part is figuring out how to reach the end. There are 90 levels, but don't let that scare you. They are more than enough when you take into account the gameplay. I hope you like repeating sections of a level or a whole level until you conquer it, because this is part of the experience. You control a goo ball that makes delightfully slimy sounds when moving. It can stick and grapple to certain surfaces and jump. These are the only mechanics and the developer gets the most out of them thanks to the level design. Later levels have few surprises in terms of mechanics, so they never get boring. The first 10-15 are teaching the player about all the mechanics, different surfaces and shapes you have to use to reach the end goal. On some surfaces you can only stick the goo ball, on the other stick and grapple, and the third can kill you. All are color coded and visually distinct, so you can't make mistakes. In general, blue is good, red is bad. After those initial levels, the game introduces steadily new challenges. The Steam page describes its puzzles as a sandbox. This is in terms how you're gonna reach the end goal. There is definitely an obvious straightforward path, but once you get grasp of the movement, you start to think outside of the box. This is true on probably most levels. The game is at its best at the later levels when there are many shapes on screen and you are free to approach it however you want. Now, this can be true even for levels that seem linear. I finished some of them definitely not in the intended path. Finding ways to break the levels is actually quite fun. Maybe break is not the right term, it's finding a way to finish them faster. It isn't a coincidence that there is a speedrunner mode. To do all this, you need to get used to how it controls and the physics. The physics work almost as you expected. If you drop from a higher ground and you grapple a surface, you can use the momentum to fling you. But if you're not moving or swinging, the ball stops faster than you think. The goo ball doesn't feel too heavy, it feels a bit floaty. It's almost like you're in space with low gravity. The interesting part is you can use the buttons for air control. For example, pressing a direction makes the goo ball move and start swinging, but it's not only that. While jumping, climbing or any other movement, holding direction can push even further the goo ball or slow it down. However, you can overshoot or undershoot, careful pressing of the buttons is necessary. Often levels require not just straightforward movement, but also going around obstacles. I found using all the directions to be very useful for finding alternate routes, or saving from certain death. There is a surprising amount of air control. Combine all this with the shapes and their position, the game becomes tense, challenging and fun. Adjusting left and right, pushing the goo slightly further, tapping it, slow it down, etc. It's awesome. A certain level of mastery over the controls is required if you want to 100% the game, where to grapple, how long to hold the button, etc. Some levels have challenging design that need your full attention. I have some small gripes with the game. The first is the camera. I feel like it's too close to the goo ball. I wish I could pull it back a bit so I can get a good feel for the level. This ties directly to issue number 2. The sandbox approach was a bit frustrating on some levels. I had to consult a walkthrough to finish the level you see on screen. You can't touch any surface, you just swing and hope for the best. This led to me trying over and over again for at least 20 minutes. However, this is an extreme example. The rest are mostly fine. I actually got hooked to the game. This type of repetition can be quite addicting. The real star is the levels. The variety is big and challenges are gradually introduced. At first, the game seemed a bit easy, but I was so wrong. After halfway through the levels, it got quite challenging, but also even more fun. There isn't that much to talk about the game, maybe except the music. It's fine. I'm not sure how to describe it, what genre it is. I didn't pay much attention to it after the first couple of levels. It feels like there are only 2 tracks and it can get a bit repetitive, but I was so focused on beating the levels and I didn't pay much attention to it after a while. There is only one collectible in the form of these green sparkling things, but for me, the real collectible is these 2-3 frames of stick figure animations. I find them adorable and I was going out of my way to reach some. The game is super fun and I recommend it. It's worth a bee.